Good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to get started in just a moment. Feel free to ping your followers into the room or onto the live. We're going to get started in just a few moments. Music that you hear, I do not own the rights to this mute to some of the music.
You gotta keep moving, you gotta keep pushing, you gotta keep walking, don't gotta keep running. Give up, don't give up, don't you give up. No, it's not given to the swift, the strong, but you gotta endure. You got to endure. Don't give up, don't give up. The race is not given to the swift, the strong, but you gotta endure. Don't be led by your senses. You hear, see, or feel the fierce determination. Your dreams are revealing. No more negative thoughts about you. Envision positive images. Don't give up.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the Something to Think About broadcast. I am your host, Apostle Aaron Randall. I'm also known as Ace in the business world. We are in a new extension of a series that I was doing with Putting Legs to Your Vision entitled the PHWD Challenge. What does that stand for? Purpose, Health, and Wealth Decade Challenge. We are pursuing after our purpose trajectory of our entire life. This is not a ending of Putting Legs to Your Vision, but this is actually a continuation of what that room was doing, and we're adding multiple elements to it in that regard. So as you guys are in the rooms, if those of you that are watching via Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and in Clubhouse, please share with your followers. Let's get as many people involved as possible. Let's go ahead and just ping people in. We got some good things that we're going to talk about. Those of you that are in the audience, in the listening lounge on Clubhouse, you are welcome to join us up on the stage. Those of you that are listening via the other mediums, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, and you are welcome to post your comments in the chat so that we can be able to, respond to your messages and have you to be engaged into the discussion. But if you actually want to join us in the conversation on Clubhouse, you can go ahead and look at the link in the description, create a profile on the Clubhouse app, and you can be able to join the conversation directly here on Clubhouse. If anybody has been a part of this room or what have you, it gets good, it gets deep in that regard, and we just really dive in conversations on how to better and advance our lives in that regard. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. Those of you that are in the on Clubhouse, thank you all as well. My Clubhouse family for being a part and joining in. I see Asia's in the room. Miss Paula just joined. Ashley is in here. Lakeisha is in the room. Thank you so much for being a part again. Ping your followers in the room, and you are welcome to join us on the stage. So what is the PHWD challenge? And what does it stand for again? It means purpose, health, and wealth decade challenge. So why is it over the next decade? Because when you pursue after your purpose, health, and wealth over the next decade, it's literally going to shift the trajectory of your entire life, and not only your life, but it's going to shift the trajectory of for generations to come. And so, how did I start this? Interestingly enough, I actually started this pre-pandemic on starting into the new year of 2020. And unbeknownst to me, I didn't know that there was going to be a shutdown with COVID when God gave me this, and it just so happened to be that everything that was challenged was purpose, health, and wealth when COVID came on the scene, and so this is just an assignment that God had given me. And what I ended up doing was I was still focused on the PHWD per se, but I got more focused on the vision part, or the wealth side, which is putting legs to your vision, which is an extension arm to this challenge, and didn't go back to the original focus. So God put it back on me again to go back to the PHWD challenge, and to begin to push that, teach in that aspect, get others involved, and so that we can begin to really pursue after our purpose, health, and wealth. Like I said, over the next decade, and it's going to shift our trajectory. So what's going to be happening in this room? It's going to be different things that's going to be going on. It's going to be different focus topics. There's going to be different people that's going to be coming in speaking as like keynote speakers or special guests that's going to be coming on talking about specific things and specific areas on how we can advance in our purpose, health, and wealth. We're going to have a different health specialist that's going to come in to deal in health and wellness. Physical people that are personal trainers is going to come in. We're going to have individuals that are going to come in that's going to add to the conversation on how to either establish your business or how to gain wealth in the stock markets, in the with trading, with getting involved with cryptocurrency, the Forex world, the metaverse, and the list goes on. And there's going to be a lot of different people that's going to be coming in, chiming into these conversations. There's going to be different challenges that's going to go on that you can actually get. We're going to be doing little giveaways and things of that sort that's going to be incorporated with it. So we want to get as many people involved as possible. Individuals is going to be coming in as well. More than likely, we'll be doing giveaways for with those individuals as well. So there's a lot of things that's going to be involved. Some of the things are going to be in these rooms and in these mediums, and then some other things is actually going to be paid courses that you have to be a part of to join in that. But it's all for the betterment of your purpose, health, and wealth. And you want to invest in your future. You want to invest into your destiny. You want to invest into your health. And so, but at this particular point right now, this rooms and this environment right now is free at obviously. So we're just going to be chopping it up, talking more in depth concerning our purpose, health, and wealth. So just to kind of give you an idea of what we spoke about last week, we really kind of started with some groundwork about starting your process of your focus for your purpose, health, and wealth. And I see Paula is, like I said, is in the room. She was on with me last week. I'm definitely am glad that she is going to assist in being a part with adding some great value on the health side, because she has a lot of insight in that on that side, because that's what she does for a living. And so she's definitely going to be assisting in that regard. But just to recap what we discussed last week, we started to develop a list of things concerning our purpose, health, and wealth. And so on the purpose side, what is your purpose? What are your passions? What are your dreams? What is it that you would do, even if you don't get paid? Even if you're not getting a check, if you're not getting notoriety, what is it that you are passionate about, that you would do it in your sleep, that you would do it regardless of time, and just begin to assess those things and write those things out and come up with a list of those things. What are those things that you're really passionate about? Some people are passionate about school. Some people are passionate about, politics and changing, community communities or families, or going to nations like I do, or what have you. One of the things that I do, which I'm also seeking assistance for donations in that regard, but I go to Africa. And I go and not just only Africa, but I go to a couple of different countries as well, within Africa, within Asia, in that regard as well. So so I'm preparing for three different missions trips, 5 different countries this year. And so seeking prayer, seeking support in that regard. And so for those of you that are watching on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, you will see it on your screen, the details about how you can sow into that. Those of you on a Clubhouse, it is actually in my bio description, and you'll see it there. But I'm going to, like I said, 5 different countries, 4 of which is in Africa, and then the other one is in Pakistan. And so just looking for people to partner with me and to be able to accomplish the mission efforts in that regard. So this is something what I mean by purpose-wise. This is not something that is a paid thing. This is not something that, it's speaking engagements that you get honorariums and all that great stuff. It is literally, you are sacrificing thousands of dollars to go and to pour into people's lives and seeing people's lives change. And yes, it is a great sacrifice. It costs me thousands of dollars to, make the sacrifice to make these trips happen. But when you see people's lives impacted, when you see prophetic words and ministry imparted into their lives, and you're getting, numerous messages over, years of how those words grow and expand and multiply, it is fulfilling within itself, regardless of getting anything back in return for that. That is fulfilling in itself. So that is an excellent example of purpose. What is your purpose meant to be and to fulfill in the earth? So assessing what that is. On the health side, what we discuss is like, what are your health goals? What are your objectives health-wise of what you're looking to do? Are you, not just necessarily about, being slim or, being model perfect in that regard, but you might have a particular health goal, so what is that? What are different health complications, diagnosis, bloodline, or generational health issues that might have occurred through your bloodline? Assessing what those things are, and what is your plans to be able to shift those things? Have you consulted with your doctor, your physician, to assess, a workup of your body to find out what are the different things that's going on and what can be changed by either diet or working out, or, or just doing some different things that will help in your life in that regard. So that's one of the things in the list that we assess: your health goals, current health condition and diagnosis, generational health issues, talking with your doctor to find out what's your current health status, and what are some things that you can do physically, or even physically within yourself, to adjust those things and to shift those things in your life. And so that's what we also discussed. We also talked about writing down on the wealth side, what are your visions? What are your goals and objectives on the wealth side? Are you trying to build streams of income? Are you trying to, be an entrepreneur? Are you trying to go back to school to advance your education? Do you want to grow from being at an entry-level position to being an executive level position? And what are those things that's going to help you to grow and advance in those areas? And so this is just a general small list of what we were doing to get the ball rolling, getting that flow going with you on starting the process of making moves in your purpose, health, and wealth. And so we're tackling all of these things simultaneously at the same time. Why? Because in order for you to fulfill purpose, you have to be healthy. You also have to have some sort of financial resources. In order to to live a healthy life, you have to have money. You have to have some sort of resources or money to be able to eat healthier, to be able to get the equipment that you need to be able to work out, or to buy shoes to walk and work out, whatever, you need to have some sort of resource in that regard. And in order to fulfill purpose, you have to be alive. You have to have life, you know. And so we are talking about these things from a holistic perspective, because I would that you prosper, be in good health, even as your soul prosper. It's just not we as especially as believers. We are prospering when it comes down to the word of God. We prosper when it comes down to laying hands and doing deliverance and prophesying. But when it comes down to our financials, and when it comes down to fulfilling our purpose, or when it's or when it comes down to our health wise, we are lacked. We're not fully balanced in our life, and so this is going to, like I said, it's going to help shift the trajectory of our entire life. So we all know that there's areas of in our life that needs improvement on our purpose, on our health, and in our wealth. We all can attest to that, and so that's what we're going to be doing. Now, is this room going to be going on for the next decade? No. But what this is just a motivator. It's a starter to get you going, to know that your objective for the next over the next 10 years. Well, technically, this PHWD challenge started in 2020. So it doesn't matter if you're starting late now. You can start right now, and we can start from ground zero right now today, and your decade can start today. And we can begin to go after these things, go after it strong, go after it with a vengeance, to just really go and take your life back, take your health back, take your wealth back, take your purpose back, and to go after the things that brings you happiness, that brings you fulfillment in your life. And so this is what we're talking about. This is the small gist of the focus of what the PHWD challenge is, and we're going to continue in that trajectory. And we're going to see our lives change. And not only are we going to see our lives change, we're going to begin to see people that look up to us and look at our lives as examples, and begin to see them starting to be motivated to start changing their life. So what have I done? So I can always talk about me first. What have I done to start the process of being to live a more purpose-filled, healthful, and wealthier life? Purpose-wise, I am making moves and strides in every area of my life that is connected to my purpose. I already talked about the Africa in that regard. You know, assessing what my purpose and encompasses when it comes down to this apostolic prophetic call in that regard. You know, and just really seeing what it is that's my passions, and that I can do without getting paid, but I could do it and not worry about time, not worry about money, not worry about resources. Then on the health side, I've already been starting on the trajectory of eating healthier, or detoxing my system, so that I could be able to do that process. More so, one of the reasons why I'm doing it, because when I'm going overseas to Africa, this is something that takes a lot of wear and tear on your body. It's not like going on vacation. I'm literally ministering 2 to 3 times a day. With maybe a break to eat or what have you, maybe a 30, 45-minute break to eat, and then back up again, and then doing a crusade or outdoor ministry later on that night, or going from one place to the next to the next. And so, you know, your body has to be conditioned for that level of activity. So, you know, so I'm doing a lot of consecrating. I'm doing a lot of praying. I'm doing, you know, fasting and or curbing what I eat in that regard, so that it's a healthier life. On the wealth side, I've already been making moves in different trajectories when it comes down to my businesses, to gain more wealth, finding other ways to gain wealth that's outside of my abilities or what have you. What other ways that can bring a wealthier life? Not only wealthier through finances, but wealth through knowledge, wealth through resources, wealth through friendships and connections or what have you. There's a wealth of multiple different things. And I'm seeing my life change because I'm literally doing all these things simultaneously. And that's what's going to bring that balance in my life. And I'm already making moves in that. So that's why I want to encourage you to consider doing some of the same things, not necessarily what I'm doing, but to pursue yours in that regard. So what I'm going to do now is we have some individuals in the room. I want to give you opportunity to introduce yourself to the floor, and you know, let me know what's your thoughts about this PHWD challenge. Is this something that you think that you would love to be a part of your life, or are you already making strides into that? And maybe being a part of this focus will help you streamline your focus and what you're doing according to your purpose, health, and wealth. So I'm going to go ahead and jump on over to Paula. So she's in the room. She's been in with me the first week, which was last week of this particular room. And I want to give her an opportunity to introduce herself to the room. And again, let me know your thoughts of this, the PHWD challenge.
Hi, blessings, everyone. Thank you again, Apostle, for having me up here.
Indeed.
And having me on this platform. I almost forgot about this. I was like scrolling through my hallway and I was like, oh, I forgot about that. I wish you reminded me. But it's all good. I'm here now. So I think it's a great challenge. I said it before. In fact, I'm going to be putting together some challenges too for February. So stay tuned for that. Because a lot of people, people say they do stuff right after the holidays, but more people tend to do it in February. You still kind of binging a little bit in January. You're not quite ready yet. So stay tuned for that. But as for myself, I am a holistic health coach. I've been doing my business since 2010. On and off. I lived in Massachusetts for a while. I moved to North Carolina. So I've been rebuilding my business here in North Carolina. And my niche is food allergies, food sensitivities. I suffered from multiple food allergies. I also help with Lyme disease, autoimmune issues, things like that. I put together like ebooks and recipe books that are really simple recipes for people that have to eat specialty diets like gluten-free, dairy-free, low sugar, things like that. And I made them very, very simple because I don't like putting everything in there but the kitchen sink. I didn't like that being done to me, so I'm not going to do that to other people. And then I just became a business loan agent. So as far as this challenge goes, it all goes together, your health and your wealth. I did say it last week, and I'm still guilty. I still got to work on the working out part. But I'm really pushing, just trying to help businesses get funding. Because I know it's really needed, and we can't fulfill our purpose if we don't have the funding to do these businesses that God has called us to do. So I've been really networking and just getting out there, really pushing on that. So yeah, stay tuned. February, I'm going to be putting some challenges together, some paid, some free. So just follow me, and thank you for having me on this platform. I think it's a great challenge. I think it's needed. We all need to have enough money to eat healthy and be healthy. Yeah. But once again, I said it before, we can't bless others if we're sick and broke. So I'll end it on that note. Yeah. Thank you, Apostle. This is Paula, and I yield the mic.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Paula. And I hope to get with you probably this weekend, or so that I can schedule some days with you to come in, so we can advertise you coming on and just sharing about the holistic wellness and the food allergies and different ways to properly eat, to either kickstart your body into having a healthier life, or if you want to curb your diet so that you're building your metabolism, or losing weight, or just either building muscle, or just leaning down, just living a more healthier life. And so definitely want to get you on in that. Since you were with us already from the start, maybe I could just have you to be one of our first guest panelists to come in and just really speak to that and breathe life to that. Because again, like I said earlier, if you're dead, you can't fulfill purpose, and you can't get wealth. And so, our life, and we only get one of them, on this earth. We get an eternal body in heaven, but we got to live purpose here, and we want to make sure that we are capitalizing on every moment and every hour and every minute and every second of our life while we're here. We don't want to waste it and squander it, because this body will return to the dust from which it came. But we want to capitalize on the time, as the Word of God says. Let me count the days that I might apply wisdom. Let me be wise in my decision making. Let me not waste my days away. Let me not waste this physical body away, and it just eating things, and then and then we don't want to take the responsibility for the fact that we have health issues and health complications. If we want to call it the devil, no, you don't want to pick up those chitlins. You don't want to been eating those ribs. So you got to take your part into consideration, and what you can do to change those habits, and what you can do to make moves and strides to being a better life. God can restore the years or what have you, but it's almost kind of like you're asking for God to restore your health, but then you're doing the same thing. It's like doing the getting your credit fixed, and you're paying all this money to get credit repair, and then you don't discipline yourself on how to build credit or how to spend money wisely, and then within a matter of time you're right back to where you started. So so it's almost kind of like you got to discipline yourself. You got to have some sort of self-control. You got to start beginning to make shifts, and the reason why we're talking about this over the next decade, because we know what it means. When you're doing something that becomes habit forming, over a certain amount of days, now it becomes habit, and your body begins to get adjusted to that habit or that routine in that regard. But what happens if you do things repetitively or advancedly over your life over the next decade? How that really impacts your life and shifts your perspective and shifts you in a whole different light. So just take all these things in mind. I'm going to go ahead and jump over to Brandon. My brother is in the room. Thank you for coming in and supporting my room as you have before. Feel free to introduce yourself and let me know your thoughts about this PHWD challenge.
Can everyone hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Apostle Ace, for having me. My name is Brandon. I like the idea of this challenge. When I think about health, I'm a vegan. I've been a vegan for about a year now. For several reasons. But mainly it's the violence and the cruelty towards animals, and the carbon footprint of the but as far as health goes, I feel better, and I also try to do a low sugar diet because diabetes, as you know, in the African American community is very prevalent. So I try to do low sugar, and I consider myself pretty healthy as far as my diet. And I work out because I'm a dancer, so I take maybe, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6 dance classes a week, and I work out, and but my goals are to actually become more flexible. So, I may spend like about 30 to 40 minutes stretching every day, and learning how to increase flexibility, and maybe when it's safer, I could take some yoga, and so health is those are my health goals, just to get more flexible and work on things that I need to do with my body. So I honestly could probably be of use to you, Apostle, too, because I was a weightlifter for a while, and I had to fine tune my diet in order to build the muscle, and so I know a little bit about how much you should eat, and the food groups, and things like that. So then, as far as wealth goes, all I hear the Lord say is, I've been cleaning up my credit. So right now, I'm so happy that, I finally dug myself out of a ditch, and, my credit is in good standing. So I'm happy about that. And I owe maybe, just a few things, but, but I'm just so happy, to have good credit, and so I'm planning on, I got one credit card, and I've been using that one credit card, paying on time, and just letting myself build up. I don't need no more than one. And just, letting it build up. And, for my purpose, I've been called as a pastor, and, and some, so what God has, through his prophets, God has been, giving me bits and pieces of my destiny. And, so they're kind of, out of order, because sometimes I'll get a word that's like, really, I know like that's really far in the future, and sometimes it'll be, a right now word. But what I'm going to do is just really get with God and say, look, I really need to map this out, because I know like you have a lot of things planned for me, but I want to make sure that I'm doing it in the right order, and I want to make sure I know, God, what do you want me to do right now? And so what I've been doing, I'm going to start a YouTube channel. I was literally going to do it today. I just didn't have time. So tomorrow, I'm in New York City, so it's probably going to be a blizzard tomorrow, so I'll be home all day. And I'll be able to record. I'm going to just start with my testimony on YouTube, and go from there, and try to post sermons. And on Clubhouse, I've been more consistent with that, starting my ministry like that, and just so I've been, God will give us the instructions, but he needs us to to do it. He can't do it for us, so we have to take some initiative too. So I just want to make sure that I'm in line with that. I know God has plans for me and my purpose. I just want to make sure that I'm in the right order. So I'm glad. I thank you for opening this room, and and allowing me to share today. It's a good idea to bounce your ideas off of other believers, to get some wisdom and good counsel. So I'll land my plane there. Thank you.
Absolutely. Good stuff. And I'm glad you mentioned that you do have some expertise in that as well. And you're always welcome anytime I have my room or what have you. We always be in different rooms together. So you are definitely welcome. And again, as I always say in my room, it's not all about hearing me speak. It's about us dialoguing and about, like you said, bouncing ideas off of each other. We all have levels of expertise or experience, or our life's journey is able to help and assist, others in that regard, or you might find the answer that you're looking for right here in this room. And so this is a safe space, just to reset the room, but it's a safe space to share, excuse me, and just be able to be a part in that regard. And so just to reset, I'm Apostle Aaron Randall. I'm known as Ace in the business world, but this is something to think about room. And what we are talking about in this room for this particular focus is called the PHWD Challenge, which means Purpose, Health, and Wealth Decade Challenge. And we're pursuing after our purpose, health, and wealth over the next decade, which will shift the trajectory of our entire life, not just our entire life, but for generations to come. And so we want to start the process with us. Maybe, nobody in your family was able to see this into your life, and you were, living unhealthy. You didn't know what your purpose was. You didn't know how to establish wealth. Well, you can start right here. You can start right now. You can start within yourself. And I want to build a community, as I did with the putting legs to your vision, just build a community of people that are able to just share and feel comfortable with sharing, but also, just be honest and be truthful, because again, you just never know what resources in this room. We have two people on the stage right now that has history and background in health and wellness in that regard. We're going to have some others that's going to be coming in this room that's going to be talking about those different things. We're going to have people that's coming in that's going to be talking about wealth as well, how to establish that, how to get involved with the crypto world and the forex trading and things of that sort. Some things are going to be classes that is paid and some things are not, or what have you. So don't think that you can't be a part of everything, but whatever that is paid and whatever that's going to be orchestrated is something that is going to be off Clubhouse or off of these mediums. It will be properly advertised and you will know in advance so that you can be able to register, be a part of that, so that you can learn. And so this is about, all of this purpose, health, and wealth. You have to invest in yourself. You have to. We get so caught up in sowing seed into so many people, but we really don't take the time to invest into our own self. What is the things that we need to invest in? Our purpose, health, and wealth. Invest in the things that's going to be contributed to your purpose. Invest into things that's going to be contributed to your health. Invest in things that's going to be contributed to developing more wealth and being able to decipher what that is, so that you can be able to, again, to shift the trajectory of your life. It begins with a mindset. Before I go over to Keandre, my brother, Prophet Keandre, it starts with your mind. There has to be some sort of renewing of the mind or changing of the mind to make you shift. People say talk a good game. People talk a good game, what they're getting ready to do, but until you're sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired, then that's when you're going to make a move. Then that's when you're going to make a shift. If you feel like, okay, I'm overweight and I'm tired of being out of breath when I'm walking long, short distances, or I can't stand for long periods of time, or I'm tired of the history of diabetes and high blood pressure and whatever that comes along with your bloodline, or what have you, or health issues that come along with obesity, or and not even just being overweight. There's a lot of people that is not overweight that still have health issues, but there is ways that you can be able to manage that you can get it under control, that you can be able to live a healthier and more prosperous life. Again, I would that you prosper, be in good health, even as your soul prosper. It is not always just spiritual, but let's apply these things to our life. Spiritually, some of us ain't even healthy there, but in areas, we've mastered certain areas when it comes down to the spiritual side. Let's get that to be balanced in our physical life, in our personal lives in that regard. So that's what we're doing in this room. That's what we're talking about for this particular room on Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is our focus. This is our objective. And so we want you to be challenged in that. Those of you that are listening in the listening lounge, you are welcome to come up and be a part of the conversation. Feel free to raise your hand. I will definitely bring you up to be a part. Those of you that are listening via YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, you are also able to join us in the conversation. Post your comments so I could be able to see them. Or if you want to join us on Clubhouse, there is a link and details in the description of this broadcast, and you can go ahead and create a profile and join us over here in the conversation here on Clubhouse. So I'm going to go ahead and jump on over to my brother, Keandre. Thank you for coming up. Introduce yourself to the room and let me know what your thoughts are about this PHWD challenge.
Absolutely. Well, good evening to everyone in the room. To my brother, Apostle Aaron, blessed servants, to everyone in the room. My name is Keandre. I am just here basically just listening in, and I truly believe that this is such a great challenge. I really feel like it's essential and it's necessary, a lot of times, because we need, sometimes to be challenged in our thinking in certain areas, especially when it deals with wealth, especially when it deals with the whole bunch of stuff, purpose and everything. I truly believe that, especially with the wealth part, that, there's people that can get money, but they don't know how to manage it.
That's it.
You have people that, they'll get, let's say $1 million or $250,000 or $500,000. And then the next thing you know, they blow that thing off within 2 days. I definitely believe that in that department, you definitely got to have people that know, how to turn $10 into like 100,000, how to, basically have different ways of having different kinds of incomes. And it really could be off of your passions. It really could be just off of a simple idea or a simple thought. So I definitely believe that that's essential for that, especially with the health part. I come from a family, I come from a family where most of my immediate family, you know, they were born in South Carolina, but most of them, they're from New York, they're from Brooklyn. And so both sides, especially on my grandmother's side and my grandfather's side, I mean, they can literally throw down any holiday you would think of, whatever the case might be. I mean, they throw down especially within those EG parts of the South Carolina area, the Beaufort, Charleston areas. Oh yeah, they're gonna throw down definitely. And you know, they like to eat a lot of fried stuff, and you know, the high blood pressure definitely runs in my family as well too. So I know for myself, you know, just trust me, I like to eat. Trust me, I like to eat. But you know, also be very cautious and be very careful not to consume of something a lot of times. So one of my things I usually do, I drink a lot of water. You know, cut lemons, limes, you know, different remedies and stuff like that. Because people don't understand, water actually helps in a lot of ways, a lot of ways that people don't think about. Other stuff happens too, but so I definitely believe, you know, when we continue to eat the right things and do stuff and like portions and a whole bunch of stuff, I really believe that, you know, a lot of people will actually be changed, and you'll actually see a lot of people here in this world actually changing as well too, because even sometimes when you want certain things, it ain't even needed. It ain't even needed. So it really isn't. But the thing about it is, I absolutely believe that this is definitely a great challenge. And you know, bro, you got my support in this always, definitely. And I just really think this is such a great challenge. It's necessary and essential, and definitely just continue to go with it, continue to do it, because I truly believe that people are going to be changed. People will be more marketable. People will be more strategized. You know, people, they'll be more informed about certain things. That people actually will be thinking a lot more, going deeper with their thinking. You know, certain things that they didn't think about beforehand, now they're going to think about it now. So I definitely say, man, keep it going. You know, you got my support. You got people in the room and others that will support you with this. So I definitely feel that this challenge is great. So keep up the good work, man. And I release my mic.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. This is something that I'm doing within myself, but also to, you know, sometimes when you have a community that's able to support you and to challenge you and also to motivate you and say, you know what, don't give up, don't stop now, don't, you know, put that chicken down, put them fat backs and hallmarks and them pig feet down, you know, put them chitlins down, put them dressing and mac and cheese down, because it's like, you know, again, you can't fulfill purpose if you're dead. And we are in a time and an era right now where it's so sensitive that death is lurking so strong on the earth that people are here today and gone today. You know, you talk to them and 5 minutes later, they're gone. I on Thanksgiving, talked to one of my brothers, a good brother of mine, and he told me that him and his wife had COVID, and within a matter of 6 hours after that conversation, he died. So interestingly enough, or what have you, yeah, he died like literally 6 hours after our conversation. Anywhere within that 6 hour mark of that conversation, he had died. And I just so happened to be on Clubhouse that morning during the time of his transition, because I couldn't sleep. It wasn't that he was on my mind or anything. It was just like I was just full from Thanksgiving and I couldn't sleep. And you know, and I ended up staying up from 1 to 6:30 in the morning doing a room on Clubhouse and did not know that he was transitioning. Now, you know, there's a lot of different aspects that goes into, you know, a person's health, and how COVID, as an example, that can, you know, take somebody out sooner. But I literally lost 2 dear friends of mine from COVID within a month apart, or what have you. One of them was really instrumental into me accepting that God called me to this apostolic office when I said absolutely not, in that regard. And so lost her, and she was starting to do better, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she was gone, or what have you. So and And so again, like I said, people are here today and gone today, with not in 24 hours, literally within a matter of hours or minutes, they are gone. And so, we just have to be more conscious. Again, we only get one body, we only get one life on this earth. Some people believe in reincarnation and all that. Yeah, more power to you. However, even if that is the truth, or what have you, why would you waste a whole lifetime just allowing your body to deteriorate and just go through the things that you go through, and just feeling the pains and the agonies that come with this body, in hopes that you're going to get a better one and a new life? It's just, why even think from that perspective? Maximize your moment, maximize your potential that you have right now, and begin to make the strides and what you can to be able to redeem the time in your life. I've seen people that has made shifts in their physical, or in their health wise, and all of a sudden they look 20 years younger, because they decided to do something different in their physical body, or eating healthier, or in that regard, or just people that have lived as vagabonds and paupers, and just struggled financially, and then all of a sudden something had to awaken them to say, what, I got to shift my life. And why does it seem to be we always got to have something tragic to come upon our lives in order to get us to wake up? It's like, why does it have to be that way? Why do you have to get a negative diagnosis from the doctor to tell you, what, you need to eat better, or you need to do better? Why don't you start now? Why don't you just keep that going for years? Now, it is what it is. Food, it can be almost like a drug to people, and it's addictive. Things taste good, and you just like the way things taste and taste good. But, my brother on here is vegan, but that doesn't mean just because you're vegan that makes you healthy either. There's people that has gained weight being vegan, a significant amount of weight in that regard. So just because being vegan, pescatarian, or vegetarian, or just eating fruits and vegetables, or being a raw vegan, does not totally solidify you being healthy. So, finding out what that is, because some people health wise might not be able to support a vegan diet, or or whatever. So you got to find out what is with your body. You got to get a workup. You got to do an assessment to find out if that works for you, or what have you. Like I was telling somebody about a detox that I was doing, and they can't do it because they have to, eat a certain level or do something based on the medications that they take, or they will get sicker. So you got to, again, you got to assess. That's why I gave the list about, finding out from your physician to find out what, you need to do to start making those changes. Getting with somebody that like Paula, that deals in holistic medicine, or holistic eating and living, so that you can find out, because you might not need to take medications for the rest of your life. You might just need to incorporate turmeric, or incorporate whatever into your diet that might help to shift your life, and to have a healthier and more prosperous life. And so this is what we're talking about. We know, a lot of us don't want to go to the doctor. A lot of us don't want to deal with the health. We just want to stay ignorant and just, allow ourselves to just live our life to the fullest. If we're going to die, we're going to die, but that's sad when you can extend your years, when you can extend your life and enjoy life, and, have a more healthier and happier life in that regard. So, that's our objective. We want to live life in purpose, on purpose. We want to live a healthier life, and we want, and I know everybody in this room want to be wealthy. We want to have a wealthier life. We want to have more finances. We want to have better credit. We want to be able to purchase and own and acquire and establish things greater than what we've come from or what we've been. And so, this is what we're striving for. This is what our objectives are in this for this particular room, for this challenge, is that we want to strive for more in that regard. So I'll just testify of myself. Since I've been detoxing, or what have you, I don't necessarily go by measurements, right? I mean, by weighing myself right off, or what have you. I go by measurements first, because you start to lose water weight, and that starts to come off of you first, or what have you. So I start to see the difference in inches in that regard. That okay, I'm slimming down, or what have you. Sometimes you don't see it right away, but sometimes you know, you got to do certain things so that it motivates you, you know. So if you don't see it in a pounder, just measure yourself. You know, you might see that you might have lost a couple of inches off of your midsection, off your thighs, off your behind, or wherever your problem areas are. You know, incorporating, you know, walking or running or brisk jog or whatever, you know, in your regimen a day. Or if you can't get out, you know, or get to the gym, if you got bottles, you know, gallons of bottles of water, lift those and let that be your weight training. Do some crunches or what have you. If you in a computer chair or what have you that extends back, and I kind of, you know, started doing this some years ago, but that lays back and it rocks or what have you. You know that you can do crunches, stomach crunches with that chair because it has that bendable capability, and you literally keep your, you know, lift your legs up. Now I'm not no gym fanatic because I got a lot of work to do on my own physical body. However, my point is that you can eliminate the excuses or what have you. Take 10, 15 minutes a day. Take whatever you need to do to really assess how to incorporate healthier eating and working out of some sort in your life throughout the day. Because of this pandemic, a lot of people are working at home. You know, I have an office in Buckhead, but I don't go to my office every day. I work mostly from home nowadays. What can I do at home or what have you? I have a home gym, but I have to break that down because I'm in the midst of some things changing with that. So I have to break it down. So since I don't have that up or what have you, I got 2 cases of water. Okay, I'm gonna lift that. You know, do whatever you can to start building that habit and just start shifting. Start adding extra things to it, or find out what you can do to accommodate more within your day. Last other thing I want to share as well is start assessing the hours of your day. I talked about this last week as an example. I said, okay, you know, we got 24 hours in a day. So let's say just on average, people work 8 hours a day. On average, people sleep 8 hours a day. So you have another 8 hours within the rest of your day that you're either traveling, eating, you know, watching TV, doing whatever you're doing throughout that day. Then you look at your weekend, you know, minus your 8 hours sleep, you have 32 hours just within that weekend time that you work with. When you assess from out of your sleep time and your work time, we're not talking about the transportation to get there, the travel to get back and forth, but just your work time and your sleep time or what have you, you have a total of 3 days throughout the week that you're able to adjust with your travel time. Now you can start to say, okay, it takes me 30 minutes each way to get to work. Okay, we're going to deduct that off of your days during the week. Okay, now start breaking down what it is that you got going on, because we always say, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time. But when we start to analyze our day and start to really look at what it is that we're doing and start taking notes, take a note throughout your week. You know, do it for a full week and really assess your schedule. I get up at this time, I do this, and a lot of times our schedules of what we do is literally repetitive. We do it every day, 7 days a week or 5 days a week, and then on the weekends or whatever, we do whatever we do in that regard. But really assess your days and be able to say, okay, instead of me sitting up here swiping through being on Clubhouse for 5 hours or 4 hours or 3 hours or even 2 or an hour or what have you, what can I do to maximize my time? Or if I do want to be on Clubhouse, how can I do that while I'm doing something else productive? You know, when I'm on Clubhouse, like if I'm ministering throughout the day on Clubhouse at any given point in time, anybody that knows me know that I'm a multitasker. I could be working on a client's project, my business stuff, and be on Clubhouse simultaneously at the same time. And I'll pause for a few moments to get my little spiel and my little preach on my soapbox. And then when I mute my mic, I'm right back into the rhythm and flow and working of doing what I'm doing, because I learned how to capitalize on my day and try to multitask more to get more done in a day. I know we all can say, I wish it was more hours in a day. I wish I could just have another 2 or 3 hours to get more done, but we can't and we don't. So what do you have to do? You got to find ways to adjust and to pivot some things or move some things around so that you can accommodate more in your life. You get a 15-minute break and you're working from home, take that little 15-minute break and do some squats and some crunches or lift some water, to get you that weight and the resistance that you can't do. Do some crunches in your chair or what have you, in your work chair, so that you can just start doing some things to be active or walk in place or whatever. Do some squats or whatever that is going to help instead of, ordering DoorDash and Uber Eats all the time. Do some meal prep. Go buy some groceries and just prep your food throughout the week so that you're not spending so much. When you think about how much money, especially if you order on DoorDash and Uber Eats and all these other mediums or what have you to order food or what have you, when you really assess how much money you're spending, trust me, I know very well. that is so much money wasted that you can reinvest into a vision or save for a house or do something more with that money instead of just wasting away. So, we really have to analyze ourselves and analyze our habits and look at what it is that we do on an everyday basis. You like watching TV? That's fine. TV is your thing, and that's your thing that keeps you from being focused. Okay, why don't you put a TV in front of your elliptical or your workout machine and work out while you're watching TV? Do some squats or do something or what have you. Or while you're cooking or whatever, you can find ways that you can incorporate some of the things that you love to do to some things that you need to do so that you can be able to still capitalize on that and still be able to get some things done. What am I doing? In essence, I'm actually helping you to eliminate the excuse. Eliminate the excuse. Kill it. Because if you don't kill the excuse, you will find yourself in perpetual cycles doing the definition of insanity, doing the same thing and expecting a different result. And they have their mitigated goal to get mad at the devil and call it the devil. No, it's you. You're the problem. You're keeping you where you are. And so you have to begin to make the change. You got to begin to change your mindset. You got to begin to make the moves and the strides into a better and a more healthier and a more holistic, balanced life. You got to do it. And you got to make the moves. And so in this room, you're going to get a little bit of a drill sergeant. You're going to get a little bit of a life coach. You're going to get a little bit of apostle prophet. You're going to get a little bit of big brother, uncle, nephew. You're going to get a little bit of it all. But the thing of it is that the objective is to keep you going. And not only is it helping you keep going, it's also helping me keep going, because as a leader of this room, I got to also lead by example. So I'm not going to be sitting up here eating on chitlins and fat bags and hog maws and mac and cheese and dressing when I know I'm teaching about purpose, health, and wealth, And so I'm doing this not only just for myself to have a more healthier and holistic life, but a holistic, balanced life, but also for others that are literally looking to change their life. They're trying to change it not only just money-wise, but I'm literally talking about every aspect of your life being balanced. Anybody that's ever that's been in martial arts will teach you that it's harder to knock down a person that is balanced, that is literally have a balanced stance. If you're more heavier on one side than the other, then your opponent can easily take you down. And if you think from that perspective, you are able to literally to keep your enemy from taking you down. And let's think about it. Let's take it spiritual for a moment. Where is it the most that the enemy hits us at? In our purpose, health, and wealth. He hit us in our money. We crying and we whatever. He hit us in our physical bodies. We crying and we crying out to God. He hit us in our purpose and our focus to doing the assignment of God. He's always hitting us in those three areas. But when we get balance and we have mastery in these three, he has to come a whole different way. He got to come a whole different way than he's ever come before, because these are the areas that he hits us in the most: our purpose, our health, and our wealth. So let's find ways and start making moves into having our life to be more healthier, having our life to be more fulfilled with purpose, having our life to be, when you look at purpose, and you heard me say this before, your life is bigger than you. It was always meant to be. Just like me being in this room to encourage you, my life is bigger than me. And so when you look at that, having long life, having a healthier life gives you the ability to be able to impart and to impact other people's lives. And so these are the objectives. These are some of our focuses that we're going to be talking about. Those of you that are on Facebook Live and on YouTube and on Twitter, thank you so much for being a part of the conversation. Feel free to chime in. If you want to post anything in the comments, post it up so I can see it in response. Let me know, those of you that are listening in on those other mediums, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, or what have you. What do you think about this challenge? Some of you on Facebook are already aware of this because I started this in January of 2020. So some of you are already aware of this. But what do you think about this challenge? And what do you think about bringing this back? And feel free to post your comments. Paula, did you have anything that you want to add to what I'm sharing?
Sure, I could just add a couple things. When you were talking about working out around your house, some other items that you can even use too. You can use a chair. You can do like tricep dips with a chair. You can even use like an ottoman if you have an ottoman. That can be a weight bench. And yes. You could use, if water bottles are too heavy, you can always use like cans. I mean, just looking at
You're a matrix, Paula.
Something that can go from resistance bands. Those are really great if you have a small space.
Yeah.
I've got like a stick with resistance bands. It's really, I actually got it from Tony Little, but they have a lot of different ones. So those are just some thoughts that I just wanted to share. That's it for now. That's it for me.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Some of those other resistance bands, I actually had two different sets of ones that you actually mount onto your door. And you can put it on like your bathroom or your closet door and close the door, and you can just use that. Gold's Gym has a brand. I think that's a little bit more wealthier, but then there's some at Walmart that you can find some there. I think the Gold's Gym ones is at Walmart, but there's some that you can find at like what is it called? Like a Marshall's or a Ross or something like that. You can find some at those locations, and it just gives you that resistance that you need. That's going to help you, just to work out and just to incorporate that in your life. Starting is the initial part, and then after you start, staying consistent, and then after you stay consistent, now start to change it up, increase it, enlarge it. Because if you're just still lifting the same weight over and over and over again, you've already come to a mastery of that. It's almost kind of like eating a specific diet, and then you see that it's not working because your body has become adjusted to it. Sometimes you do have to shock your body a little bit and change it up a little bit, or change it up for a moment and then come back to it, because you're shaking your body up enough to know, okay, something shifted, something is, different, but you're going to start seeing more results in your consistency, and you're going to start seeing, and this is not only just applied towards working out. Consistency is important to all of it, to your wealth, to your purpose. Consistency. You can't expect to do one workout and think that all the body weight is going to fall off. Look, I think all of us would love that. I think all of us would love to know that we could just do an intense workout one time and all of a sudden we are ripped up, or we are healthy and our body is in full alignment. We would love that. But consistency and starting and consistency is always going to be the trick to advancement in this. It's going to help you in that regard. And so, you got to eliminate the excuse in your life. You got to kill it. You got to kill every area of excuse in your life. Oh, I'm tired. I work an 8-hour day. I work 18 hours a day. What else you got? Well, you know, I mean, I'm a little hurting in my legs. Stretch. You know, find out what you could do, or to find out what you can incorporate in your diet that will shift that so that you're not having pain in your legs. Well, you know, I ain't got a whole lot of money, but you got a lot of gifts and talents in you that can bring you money. There's always going to be a rebuttal to the excuse that you have. And so, no, we're not, yes, we get it. We got lives. We do. But again, that's why I said earlier, for those of you just coming on, I see people coming in and out of the room on Facebook and other mediums. Oh, have you, you got to assess your day. Take a week. Take 1 week. Matter of fact, start Sunday. Start Sunday and begin to assess from Sunday to Saturday. Look and assess your days and what it is that you do every day. And take notes. Write it down. Do an audio recording on your phone and just say, okay, this is what time I get up. And when I get up, I start my day doing this. And I take a shower, I do this, I brush my teeth, I just whatever, I'm up and out of the door at this time. I got to order my Uber, I got to get my car, I got to warm up my car, I got to do this, I got to be at work by this time. Between this time and this time is when I'm doing my, when I'm focused at work. This is my break time. Then after break, or what have you, I'm working between this and this and this, or what have you, and then I do my lunch and I either go away or I eat my lunch or what have you. And this is what I'm doing during my lunchtime. Start writing this stuff down. And then I'm back at my desk or back at my office by this time. And then I, work to my last break. And then I do my last break. And then I do my last hours in my day. And then it takes me approximately from this time to this time on a regular basis to get from office to home. Now, on certain days of the week, I might stop at the grocery store. I might make a little pit stop. And so it takes me a little longer. Write it out. And when you do this over the week, now you can say, okay, I do this, 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 and this, that is consistent. I can't adjust this, but here are some areas where I can adjust. I can, if I move this around and do this different, I can incorporate a 30-minute workout. Or if I stop eating here and doing this and spending this much money and saying, and not only assess your time, look at your money, assess what you're spending. Look at your charges and what you're spending money on. Okay, I done ate out 10 times this week or what have you. What can I do to change that? This is how much money I spent eating out. This is how much money I spent on Uber Eats and DoorDash. This is how much money I spent on stuff that's unhealthy. And what can I do? Let me look. Okay, I spent $300 in a week on just eating out. Maybe I could spend half of that if it's just one person. I can spend half of that and in groceries for a month or 2 weeks or whatever, So now I'm not eating out as much or what have you. I'm able to conserve money. I'm able to do more now because I'm always talking about I'm broke. But sometimes we need to do an assessment of what we're spending our money on. If this is all a part of wealth, you got to assess what you're spending and how you're spending so you know where your money is going. Because if you don't deal with it now, when wealth does come into your life, you're going to treat it the same way that you do your money right now. You still going to be broke. You're going to be buying stuff that's outside of your means, outside of your ability, and then you're going to look up and boom, I'm right back. I'm dealing with the same thing. Robbing Peter to pay Paul, living paycheck to paycheck, and I got millions at my disposal, and I'm still struggling. So it starts in your mindset. You got to begin to change your mind. But how you do that, again, starting in that process, you got to start to assess your habits. You got to start assessing the issues that's going on within you. And if you don't assess these things, then you're not going to be able to maintain this challenge, because you're going to find excuses. Well, I was just, well, I'm going to do it tomorrow. Well, I'm going to do it next week. Well, I'm going to, start now, right now. Maybe go through your refrigerator right now and pack up some stuff and put it in bags and go take it to a soup kitchen or a homeless shelter or whatever and get the stuff out your house. It's almost time for you to start getting your grocery list together anyway. Get it. Go. Start planning out your list and groceries. Okay, I'm gonna eat healthier. I'm gonna get me some salmon. I'm gonna get me some, chicken breast or what have you. I'm gonna get lean. This. I'm gonna get vegetables and fruits and whatever. I'm gonna start on the trajectory of being vegan, or I want to start detoxing so I can prepare my body for the cleaner, healthier eating. Whatever, but start making moves in it. Kill the excuse. Kill it. Because the excuse is going to be excuses, laziness, procrastination. These are going to be the things that's going to kill your motivation in this challenge. It will be. It will be. Because if you don't kill it now within yourself, because it ain't the devil. It ain't the devil. He only amplifies the thing there's the proclivity that's already on the inside of you. He's not going to taunt you with something that you don't already struggle with. He's not. So you got to begin to assess yourself. Look at what's going on within you. Why am I still living like this? Why am I still overweight? Why am I gaining weight? Why am I always broke? Why am I not feeling like I'm living a purpose-filled life? Why do I feel like this and that and whatever? But here's the thing. When you are assessing, the assessment is not to fuel your stagnation. The assessment is not to fuel your procrastination. The assessment is to give you ammunition to say, okay, now I see this is how easy the enemy is able to come in and to sway my mind, because these are the things that I'm doing that gives him fuel, that gives him ammunition to keep hitting me in this area. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to start doing something different. What one of my godmothers said before, and she's passed on, she said, and she got this from somebody that she read this: if you do what you've always done, you will get what you've always got. And I know it's not proper English at all, but the truth of that is, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing, expecting a different result. You are literally insane if you think that if you keep doing things in the pattern that you're doing, that you're going to live a prosperous, healthier, and wealthier life. You have to change. And it starts in your mind. And once you start that process in your mind, then it'll filter into your heart. And then your body will begin to follow suit. It begins to adjust to where it is. But you have to you got to beat this body into subjection. You got to beat this mind into yielding and to start making changes. You have to. If you want to live a more prosperous, healthier, and wealthier life, you have to change your mind. Now, the truth of it is, just because you change your mind doesn't mean that you're not going to have struggles. That's why we have this room, because this room is able to make you to be around amongst a community of people that's doing this challenge with you, so that we can say, look, no, don't give up. Come on, we just getting started. Don't give up now. Come on, put them chips down, put them cookies down. Put that ice cream back up. That's for the kids. Leave that for the kids. And this is just to give you the motivation that you need to keep going. Keep going. Keep going. One thing that we're going to talk about next week is from a movie, If You Build It, They Will Come, or what have you. And that's from the movie Field of Dreams. And we'll get into the discussion of that or what have you. But if you build it, they will come. If you work it, it will manifest. You got to work the word. You got to work what it is that's in your possession. If you build on it, if you build it, you will get the results that you're looking for. But you have to do the work. You got to do the work. If they come up with a machine that'll physically work your whole body out, that'll suck out every inch of fat, that will get, pump into you healthy, vitamins and nutrients and all that stuff, and you can go into a session, that will be the $1 trillion business. Everybody will be healthy. Everybody will be, but unfortunately, we're not there yet. And until then, you got to do the work. You got to do the work. So, anybody else want to chime in on the conversation or what I'm talking, what I'm mentioning? All right, so let me just reiterate some things that we talked about last week, because this is still what we were what our focus was for this week, and we're not going to be on too much longer or what have you. This my rooms typically be on for like 3-4 hours, but we're still beginning the process of this challenge, and it's just like it was with the putting legs to your vision. It was a little slow roast of a fire, but then people started to chime in more and get more engaged and get more involved. So again, what we started with last week is the same thing we're doing with this week. For those of you that missed it, I will tell you what we're focusing on. So what we're talking about with the PHWD challenge is, first thing that you need to start writing down is what's your passions, what's your purpose, your different goals and objectives. What is concerning your purpose, or what have you? What is it, the thing that you would do even if you don't get paid? What is your passions? What is your, you love to do, and your hours will go away and you don't even realize it, and time has passed and you're not worried about money or what have you. You're not worried about the sacrifice. What is those things or what have you? Purpose is not always attached to your wealth. So assessing what those things are and writing those things down. What are those things that are burdens to you that you feel so strongly about? I was on with a guy that we were pretty close back home in Chicago, and he is a community activist. He's no longer in Chicago, but he's very passionate about the shootings and the killings in Chicago, and that's something that he's still passionate about. He can't shake it off. It's just ingrained in him, and he's done many sacrifices of time and energy and money, out of his own pocket to do these things, and probably has gotten very little in return in that regard. So what are those things that are your burdens? The things that you're passionate about, those things that are connected to your purpose. Then we also talked on the health side. What are your health goals? What are some of your current and underlying health conditions or diagnosis? So you might need to consult with your physician so that you can analyze this data, because we're going to be finding solutions to these things. We're going to be praying towards these things as well. What are generational health issues that are connected to your bloodline or what have you on all sides of your family? Because some things might skip a generation or what have you. You never know. But assessing what those things are, so those things are killed with you and no longer perpetuate a cycle throughout your bloodline in that regard. And the list goes on with that. Also, assessing for your wealth side, what are your visions? What are your financial goals and objectives? What are your goal salaries or income or profit margins for your businesses? What are different streams of income that you want to do? Maybe what is your career focus? Are you trying to go back to school or advance in education so that you can get a better career objective? Maybe you might want to go from being entry level to being executive, or have a higher up position, or running a hospital, or become a doctor, or whatever it is. Assessing what that is. What is that is concerning you? And so these are just a short list of things that we're going to be focusing on your purpose, health, and wealth. Other things that you also need to assess is your time. Over the next week, starting Sunday, start to assess your time. Matter of fact, you can start tomorrow. Forget Sunday. Start tomorrow. Start to look at your habits and what it is that you do every day, and write them down, and write a list, or write a journal, or do an audio recording. This is what I'm doing at this time. This is what I did. From this time to this time, I did this. And begin to assess your days so you can see what you can adjust and what you can maneuver around, that you can focus towards your visions, towards your purpose, and towards your health and fitness. And also start analyzing your spending, your money. Look at your bank accounts. Look at your transactions that you do with your debit cards and your credit cards. What are you spending the most money on? Is it necessary for you to spend money on those things? Can you live without them? Can you make the necessary adjustments so that you don't have to be spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on trivial things, and you're finding yourself constantly broke? What is it that you can adjust? in that regard? Can you carpool and save money with someone instead of spending, $500 a month in Uber or what have you? Maybe you can carpool with somebody and give them half of that or what have you. Or seeing what's the difference to offset your cost between public transit and or gas or whatever. Assessing what you can make the adjustments for. Because if you have a goal in mind, let's say you want to clean up your credit. Let's say you want to buy a house. Let's say or you want to buy a new car or what have you, but you're not making enough money. You might realize that you're probably making enough to start making moves towards that right now. But sometimes we overspend. We're impulse buyers. We buy up stuff that just waste away, and it adds pounds to us or it adds more debt to us instead of like, do I really need that? Do I really need to, spend money on that? Do I have to spend $25 every time I order on DoorDash, Uber Eats, and any other food delivery services? Is this really necessary? And when you start analyzing things from that perspective, then you start looking like, okay, I'm able to save. I'm able to do more. I'm able to invest more in what I'm doing. I find I actually got more time than I thought that I had. And so these are the things that is in the beginning processes of this challenge, is assessing your purpose, your health, and your wealth, what those things are from your, connected to that, assessing your time and assessing your money. Because again, these things are going to be very important to where you're going in your purpose, in your health, in your wealth. And if you are not able to assess that now, when you get busier, you're really going to have issues with time management. You're really going to have issues with money management. So start right now. Even when you're a hundredaire or when you're a thousandaire, manage it right now. So when you get to millions, it's a little bit easier. I ain't saying it's easy. It'll be a little bit easier because you understand how to maybe live a little bit more of a frugal life, or how to get coupons, or how to save money, or how to, reinvest or whatever monies into things so that your money makes money, and the list goes on. And so we're going to be dealing with all of that on this challenge. We're going to be having so many different people coming in this room. There's got to look into all things. I do apologize those that are listening on Facebook, YouTube. I got kicked out or what have you, but I am back. But yeah, there's so many different other mediums and ways that we're able to generate income. I know, somebody that literally, that's how they make their wealth. They're bringing in, hundreds of thousands of dollars a day or a week or whatever, just in doing that. And they got a system, they got a strategy in place that they are, and it's working for them. It's literally working for them, and they are doing, what's necessary to get that wealth. And so, again, we're in a day and an age that there's just no more time for excuses. It's just no more time for excuses, and we got to be able to get it wherever we can at this particular point in time in our lives, and the legal way, shall I say, to get it the legal way, and to make it happen. And so yeah, so many different things that we can do. But I'm glad you mentioned that, and you're absolutely right. We got to invest. We got to find what to invest into. Be wise in what we invest into, and get connected to people that know how to do these things. We don't want to invest money into coaches and people that are vast in knowledge in these things. We want to just keep doing things ignorant and just fake it till we make it, or bootlegged or halfway. It's just like no. There is, as my friend says, and I told him yesterday, I said, I stole your word. I said, there's a more excellent way. There is a better way to do some of these things and to do it better and to advance your life better, especially now, because we're in a technological age. We're literally where technology is everything. You can make millions of dollars just from your phone. You know what I mean? Clicking on this and doing this and posting this and this. It's just through your phone. You don't even need a computer these days. So it's like you got to find the ways to eliminate the excuse, and stop thinking that there's only one way to skin a cat. There's hundreds of ways. It's just a matter of you, figuring out what's going to be the one that's going to work for you. So thank you so much, Paula, for sharing that in that regard. Before we get out of here, every Friday at 8 p.m., we are going to be still doing this room, the PHWD challenge. Also, for those of you who are listening to the replay of this, I want you to go and click on this link, the link that is above my head. For those of you that are, matter of fact, I'm going to put it up on. I'm going to put it up on the at the bottom of the live so that you see it. But we are doing a book club with this challenge as well, and we are starting with the book, The Secrets of a Millionaire Mind. And you see the link right above your head. It's actually the audio book. So it's available for you free on YouTube. So you are welcome to listen to that. It's about a 5-hour and 11-minute audio book. And so what I do, and maybe you can use this as a tip or whatever, because I do work from home mostly, or whatever, or I'm always in front of my computer. I play the audio book, and while that's playing, I play like some music that are just instrumentals, that music that I like, so that as I'm listening, I'm still taking that music in, but I'm hearing what the book is reading to me, and the music, because the music is changing, it keeps me engaged. It keeps me in a rhythm, and I'm literally reading a book, listening to music, doing my work simultaneously at the same time. I know that sounds real crazy, but look, I used to not be a good multitasker. I used to have to be able to focus. I got to focus on one thing and one thing only, but I had to learn how to pivot. I had to learn how to pivot and how to shift and to change my mindset in that, and thinking I can't do this or what have you. And then you find out that you can. I could be on the phone, I could be looking at something and working, or be on Clubhouse or whatever, and be doing this all at the same time and not miss a beat. So again, find what's going to work for you. So, but anyway, the Secrets of a Millionaire Mind, The link is here on Clubhouse right above your head. So just click that. For those of you that are listening on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, I will post the link of that book on the message board so that you'll be able to see that and hear it, and just let that book soak in. It is literally the reason why we're starting with the secrets of a millionaire mind, because again, you got to change your mindset. It starts with your mindset. And so when you read the book, you're gonna have these aha moments, as Oprah says. It's gonna give you some epiphany to realize, like, that's why I'm broke. That's why I'm struggling with this. Is because it starts in your mind. It starts in your mind. And he breaks it down from the poor to the middle class to the wealthy, and he breaks down the different mindsets of how they think. And you know, the middle class thinks a mixture of both poor and wealthy, or what have you. And there's going to be so many different things in there that it's going to really enlighten you. It's really going to make you think, like, wow, you know, this is why I've been thinking this way. You know, it's going to have some things that it's not necessarily a spiritual religious book, but there is some spiritual elements in there that is going to be like, wow. It's going to, you know, I was so engaged into the book, I felt like I was listening to somebody preaching. I mean, I was hollering and screaming at my computer, like, yes, you are talking to me, you know. So, you know, again, you want to take a look at that. Excuse me if I sound like I'm rambling. I'm really trying to find this link so I can just post it up before we get ready to get out of here. So I can post it up in the message board so you guys can already have it. So let me go into my history on YouTube and grab that link for you. And so, you know, we're going to have different reads and things that we're going to be focusing on in these different books that we're going to be reading. And, you know, again, it starts with your mind. And if you don't deal with it in your mindset, it won't operate out on the outward. And so, you know, that's why we're going to be doing different things and different focuses, different challenges, different things that we're going to do to apply to our lives every day. And it's really going to help you. And once you begin to apply these things on a consistent basis, you're going to begin to see your life change. So for those of you that are looking on the different mediums or what have you, the link to the book for the YouTube audio book, I just posted it, and it looks like this. So when you see it, so that is the link to the book. So feel free to take a listen to that. Again, it's 5 hours, 11 minutes, and 6 seconds in that regard. So let that book bless you. Let it empower you. Let that be the starting process on changing your mindset about wealth and money. And we're gonna do it. We're gonna start testifying. We're gonna start to see and see. Here's the thing: when you start testifying and God starts doing some things, don't stop there. All of a sudden, oh boom! I lost 2 pounds. I lost 10 pounds, and then you stop. And then you gain that 10 pounds back within a matter of a week. It's like, you know, so you got to keep going. Don't stop. Don't give up. Don't give up. This is the reason why this song has become our theme song for this particular challenge. I do not own the rights to this music. I am Facebook friends and Instagram friends with a young lady that sings this song. However, I did not have the rights to use this material. However, I am definitely patronizing her for that, as well as to know that this song really speaks volumes to what this challenge is. So you don't want to give up. Keep going. Keep persevering. Do not allow anything or anyone or even the enemy to stop you. Don't give up. So let this song minister to you a little bit as we get ready to get out of here. Don't give up. room and this live is ending in 5. You too. Thank you as well for coming on.